In this Best Junglers video, we will be looking at the best junglers for you to carry at the end of Season 14. And obviously, the season has been weird with the 3 split resets and the changing metas, but Season 15 is coming at us quickly, and all of you want to make sure you hit your peaks before the reset, the final reset for a while, actually arrives. But in this video, we're not looking at the champions that can carry quote-unquote games. We're looking at champions that can solo carry, that can 1v9, that can win despite your team and in spite of your team, that can split push, team fight, make picks, and honestly sacrifice everybody as necessary in order to get that win. Whatever your jungling needs in order to actually win in this meta and actually get to your rank quickly, you need solo carry junglers, and that's not the same as like in a Mumu. And so I'm not going to start off with an obvious one, I'm going to start off with Talon. This isn't in any particular order, but Talon is one of those Smurf level junglers and really broken design wise. Always has been, always will be. When you can parkour over the entire map and farm with relative ease, you're looking at someone that can AFK farm it to level 6, get it on grubs without really losing anything. People are like, but they nerfed his clear speed years ago. And the guy can still do a first rotation scuttle, second rotation first grub, and get himself level 6. And the fact of the matter is, if you make a wrong move against him, he will counter gank, he will counter jungle you. If he sees where you're going and you're low, he can E in, kill you, and E out. It's a very difficult champion to have against you, so why not be him? And obviously I made a video which I will leave in the description below on how to actually maximize Talon following a challenger jungler with my jungle analysis that got himself 2 accounts at 1200 OP plus. We all know who that is, but more people can do it and you could be one of those people. It's very easy to reach your rank peak, especially by the end of the season, if you don't have to worry about anyone other than yourself. You see, Talon obviously has bleed damage, he has a slow, and he has his ultimate that allows him to go in, kill, and get out. A lot of assassins actually don't have that out mechanism, and those that do typically end up being a lot more powerful and a lot stronger. Talon is such a way. Now yes, you can go Conqueror and Eclipse and Black Cleaver, but that's a little bit boring. I want you to think about firstly figuring out how to play like an assassin. For this reason, I don't think he's a low elo champion. There will be champions for every rank in this video. It's just that the assassin playstyle, when you understand pressure spikes, how to actually fight, itemization spikes, and the fact that if you go 2-1-0 or 3-2-0 early, you're actually winning, but you gotta know how to use the power. So gold and above, if you want diamond, it's free. If you're diamond and above, really, if you're good at jungling and you can really just pilot Talon like a average level chimpanzee, there should be no reason why you can't reach Master tier. But sometimes you just need mechanics in order to dominate, and for that we have Skill Gap, the absolute revolutionary practice tool for League of Legends. Developed from the ground up outside of League of Legends, it has everything you could need to improve at a mechanical level and in your mind. It has jungle tools that I helped them develop in terms of making your minimap awareness go up. It's got keystrokes that allow you to fix your aiming, your reaction speeds, better smites for junglers. But outside of these black practice environments, as you've seen, we have live practice tool with one-to-one mapping of minions, damage, champion mechanics, and more. This basically means if you need practice kiting, ganking angle of approach, aiming, dodging, or simply having it all thrown at your face with Shoot Rival, there is absolutely everything in this practice tool environment for you. It is the future of improvement with League of Legends and with jungle. Click the link in the description below, at Skill Gap, join up absolutely for free. There are a lot more tools available to you through other mechanisms as well. I'm insanely proud to have worked with them on developing the jungle tools for you. Please go ahead and use it, click the description, get better, climb faster. And if you also want to use a champion for that, then, let's go ahead and slap in the Hecarim. That's right, you thought I was gonna say something else, but I'm going with Hecarim. This champion actually is a little bit skillful, performing very well in high elo, performing mid in the other elos, but he's great from low to high. Remember, you cannot just run at stuff and kill it now. You actually have to think a little bit about your ins and outs. Your early sustain with the W buffs a few months back, insane. It allows him way more of an opportunity to actually scale up with a bit more power curve without a late game one-shot of ADCs. It does mean, though, that you're gonna be in a position that you cannot one-shot if you're behind. You're looking to kind of stress that fighter sustain, disrupt, never die mechanic, while also being able to build lethality if you so choose. You just gotta consider the fact that there are downsides to your survivability. However, what we can add to that side of the coin is this meta is good for him. A lot of skirmishing and rotating required, and he has E plus R. Now, your first clears going into a level 6 rush on the first grubs is the best play as always. You can flex for that dragon as necessary, but counter jungle once or twice, get 6, get a lead, and with Hecarim as always, it's about the mid-game farming spike. You have a lead, some objectives, you're decently fed, now you ramp up. Now you start cycling camps more than Neil Armstrong cycled his steroids to cycle his bicycle, and then you scale very very easily into that late game where you control the split push and rotational cut, you control the team fights with your E and your R. You're a beast, but also a beast is Graves. Yes, here you go, here's Graves. The lethality, one-shot and collect a monster who for some reason they buffed his items directly, nerfed the competition, and have a jungle meta that's good for him. Because it is good for him, it has been good for him. He's been the problem, he's a little weaker. He suffers when he has strong counters and his itemization isn't great. But when the jungle timers and experience and gold are this, 215, good gold, good experience, and good objectives, there's nothing that this champion cannot do. You want to farm, you can farm. You want to invade and be cheesy? Do it. I mean, don't do it if you want to be a good player, because you might as well just admit you suck. Be an actual balanced jungler who meshes counter jungling, ganking, farming, objective control, map control, split push, team fight. That Graves is a Graves I piss my pants thinking about. Whenever I see a Graves like that against me, I'm like, well, you know, of course I'm playing Ornn or Zyra or Kaiser or something stupid. I guess I'm not gonna have any fun, which is why I ban the champion and never see him. That being said, Ghostblade, Collector, all of these are goated on him. Nothing's changed, nothing will. Graves for life. Alright, let's cut it back and do another unique champion you didn't expect, and that's the Karthus here. His win rate data is good, his play rate is reasonably low, he's got a very strong power curve with his ultimate and his scaling. He is weaker at level 6, the AP ratios and his nerfs overall have affected him, but also haven't affected him whatsoever. Because again, as long as you prioritize that which is important to him, experience, advantage, counter jungling, and actually F-keying so you can, you know, use your ultimate, because there's a whole ping limit now because some Riot employee didn't ult with Karthus, and, you know, such is life. But a lot of the cases with Karthus is they don't understand the exhaust tech and when to use it. They don't actually hit their Qs, you know, to do damage to targets and ISO because there's a bonus to that. And they kind of just take fights they shouldn't. Once more, focus on the farm, the sequencing, the spikes with levels. However, there's a lot of champions in this video, not all gonna be like that, and another one for that is Elise. Sorry I didn't go long on the Karthus, I figured it's pretty obvious, but Elise is just the queen of high pressure, get in your face, snowball and win. Yes, she can 7 to 8 CS per minute, but why when you can just kill everybody and end the game? Again, this is a legacy way of playing, really spiked in Season 9 with his 2-minute 30 spawn timers. She's suffered a lot since then, come in and out of the meta as it is, but those buffs this year just made her beautiful to play. Remember what you can do in this meta. We've spoken in this video a lot about solo carrying by getting a fast 6. Yes, it's important on Elise, but it's not the only thing you're thinking about. You can simply do a 3-camp variant into action. You can simply do some sort of cheese invades. Again, I don't recommend the cheese invades. They're dumb and they shouldn't work for you. Way too high risk for me, but at least the quadrants into a gank, into double scuttle pressure, into cutting off the jungler, into lane impact all over, and then falling back to catch up in experience, an experienced slingshot. That's exactly what we do for high pressure. Focus the objectives you need, but at the same time, if you have the leg up on the enemy jungler, which you should, 1 or 2 levels, especially with builds we're putting on your screen, please, by all means, go ahead, actually look to contest and kill them and take their stuff. You know, it's not a champion where you necessarily want to give things up. Of course, hey, you're taking my Krugs and killing my top laner who's already 0-3. No stress, I'm snowballing my Kai'Sa and Jinx in my mid lane and taking all your stuff plus 4 dragons. No, there's no Shyvana in this video, blessed, because honestly, she's strong, but only really in low elo. But if you're looking for something that can apply a bit of low elo pressure and go basically in every MMR, then Diana, as you see, is the way to go. This is one I'm seeing a lot of newer accounts use. Unfortunately, Riot Game lies to you, there's a lot of newer accounts, because it's very easy to Flame Horizon and get 4 level leads. And of course, her all-in potential with the build of Lichbane and Nashor's equals people die, and people die very quickly. People die thusly, and so do turrets, and so do dragons, and so do enemy jungle monsters. The only downside is bad players will not understand, hey, when you go in, your team's got to be in position. If you reach a point where you're not one-shotting and they can escape and then you get collapsed upon, that's an issue. So just understand your spikes there, get your itemization, know that you're strong, have your Zhonya's, control the objective flow. Most importantly, just understand, my friends, that this is an all-in, straight-up assassin blitz. Get 6 fast, counter jungle fast, use your ult as much as you can, but you can red side quadrant into a side lane gank. Raptors red Krugs, red Raptors Krugs, whatever. Go top lane gank, base, go bottom side, push the enemy jungler off, hopefully not being counter jungled. It does require a bit of an Elise sort of Rek'Sai bend, but at the same time, as long as you sequence properly and get 6 quickly, you're not too stressed about it. You're also okay if a laner ints, because if a jungler shows up to make them fed, you just take their stuff. Diana is one of the biggest snowballing junglers in the game for every single MMR because she's good at everything. but she also makes naked your mistakes. If you go all in, no Zhonya's, don't understand your damage output. Likewise, the same will work for Kayn. Yes, you have to understand your damage output, but with Kayn, again, works in every MMR range. Why? Because it will teach you how to be an assassin like Talon. It will teach you how to be a fighter like a Viego. It will teach you how to be a fighter like Warwick, like Aatrox. It really is the all-encompassing, best all-round champion design for getting better at League. People like to think it's a cheat code, and he does have cheat code abilities, but at the end of the day, you still gotta know how to use them, when to use them, and how to prioritize either map control or form control, because yes, there's two different ways of thinking about it. Itemization, as always with these two champions, does flex and change. What I'm giving you right now is new tech from Kara's Mai because it's interesting, and I like interesting builds, and it's also kind of working. The typical builds obviously do work, but I'm really bored of showing the same damn graphic for like 2 years. So here we go, try this out. It might work for you, it might not. If it doesn't, obviously you can go back to the de facto builds that we've talked about again for 2 years. With Kayn, he's a lot stronger early than you think with his fisting and his fighting. If there are no fisting and fightings and you need to back off a little bit, counter jungle, snack some grubs, play around your level 6 a little bit, just be smart. You don't have to be crazy like Graves, you guys can relax, do map control, and then you just all in when you take over. And for lower elo players, that's definitely the way to go. Prioritize your 6, farm and counter jungle, play around your 6 for your gangs, get your form as soon as possible, don't cheese, don't coin flip, don't invade like an idiot, simply play the game as a base jungler, and it will be pretty easy for you to get gold. Rek'Sai, on the other hand, is for those who have already reached gold. Yes, they've removed the full-on lethality buff with Prowler's Claw, like I've mentioned recently, but the Bruiser healing tech makes it so that you can do it anyway. Also, you survive, thrive, and dive. Also, you can be an off-tank. Also, you still do red side quadrant and kind of just gank lanes and snowball and make enemy junglers miserable. If you're AFK farming, well, that is a thing you can do. Don't really recommend it. I like the high pressure. She's a more accessible, at least a little bit, because she will survive. She's not trying to be that assassin with Dark Harvest and Electrocute. With the AoE W, she is back in business late game, provided you have the lead. She can become quite unkillable with the passive healing. We lost the true damage, but now we have max HP damage. She's still gonna snowball in the same way, so couple kills, you're looking at counter jungling, getting in the jungler's face, and really playing with a high tempo speed. If you are someone who's getting fed on Rek'Sai, and you are not playing quickly and really applying that pressure, that's something you make a mental note of, especially in Gold, Platinum, and Emerald. If you worry too much about your farm, you worry too much about objectives, you know, you're gonna get those things, but as a reward for aggressive PvP action, and really sexy bites. On the other hand, Viego likes to be sexy shirtless, and I don't know why all champions have to be shirtless when they're male right now, especially with the builds they have. Bring back the bodybuilder mundos and proms. Anyway, it doesn't really matter what I think because this champion is the best designed jungler alongside Lee Sin according to play rates over the years. People love him, they love maining him, they love snowballing with him, they love him at every level of play. He's great in low, mid, and high. Again, not something you're gonna be straight up aggressively playing. All you're looking for is your moment, and with fighters like Viego, it's about remaining in contention, even when you're behind. Just control your camps as much as you can, give up things you have to give up, and then you're looking for that one Herald fight, the Grub fight, the Dragon fight, the 2 or 3 resets you can go. And please, the build in your screen is a great 1v9 carry build. Don't overthink it too much. There are other techs that you can do with like the Titanic Hydras. We have made videos about that, and I have spoken about that. You can do that as well. It's just easier in these solo carry moments at the end of the season to play with what is most optimized, what works the best, what works the most guaranteed. When you do that, you know you're gonna have an even outcome, an even kill game every time. There's no high risk because your champion is designed to 1v9. And of course, with all of this, I gotta talk about Bel'Veth. And you've noticed a lot of these champions have in common an ability to do cheese. That's because when they get that lead, they're very difficult to deal with. These are the parameters of being a solo carry jungler. When you have a lead, you are just straight up dominating the game. When you're behind, it's okay, because once you get your gold and your experience, it's as if you were never behind in the first place. And with Bel'Veth, yeah, they nerfed a lot of her early damage and clears, but again, her is really, think more about spiking on those grubs at 6. Really, I cannot stress this enough. Get your true form on the first grub with good pathing, get the true form, and now just light up the map. It's way better than trying too hard pre-6. Yes, you can, and of course, if the map allows you to, do so, but think about being a really good, balanced, intelligent jungler, because when you do that on Bel'Veth, it's incredible what happens when your 6 enemy junglers 5, you get on their second red and fist them, you take the void fishies that you're going to get later on and just dominate the split push. She becomes so out of control with her itemization, especially with Kraken Stride still doing the juiciest work you can imagine. She becomes unkillable. She has a ridiculous passive. Her scaling on her Lavender stacks is now better than ever thanks to the buffs. which basically means if you play the pressure points better around your true form and really remove the jungler from the game, maximize 5 plates as much as you can, impact lanes as much as you can, there's nothing you can do that will stop you winning other than what you will do to stop you winning. You understand? And finally, the honorable mention here has to go to Kindred. Thought about a few champions we could put here that have maybe been dominant the whole year, like Kha'Zix. His win rate data is looking a little weak at this particular stage, and even though I do trust him as a solo carry 1v9 jungler, the ones here provide a certain different oomph, and that also goes straight up for the Kindred. Not something that's going to be as blind pickable dominant as they have been in the past, but with the buffs and the nature of itemization in this phase of the season, and with the fact that it's a bit more chaotic and a lot of fighting going on, and again, a lot of you hearing me talk about in this video, jungle denial, getting in jungler's face, removing them from the game, getting high level leads, and then snowballing that through map pressure in the mid game. That's just a great 1v9 carry style, and Kindred's the absolute best at that. Most bad Kindreds suffer because they think too much about marks, instead of actually just being a jungler with high aggression. And therefore they never get to that snowballing moment. And yes, Kindred scales, but they scale through their snowball rather than innately. So you kind of just sit around and become, look at me, I'm a beast. You actually have to do things to become said beast, become death itself. And again, for that reason, I don't recommend it for low elo, but there's more than enough choice here. I know it's a little light on the low elo. That's just because of what you actually need to accomplish in an MMR range. If you want to get gold quickly, these are the best choices. If you want to get diamond quickly, these are the best choices. If you want to get to master, these are the best choices. As always, the best choice for you is also to watch this video or to Virkayu.gg to learn how to do all of the jungle mechanisms I mentioned in this video.
Click it, Ross knows. Click the video, enjoy free knowledge, the knowledge that allowed Ross to destroy Kane, and also become the greatest jungle the universe has ever seen. Click the video, click it, join now, watch it, do it.